allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would all please stand for a moment of silence in memory of one of our students who was actually the class of 2015, has passed away today, but unexpectedly. I'm sure that the family itself gives all the sympathy for youngsters of that age being died. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
There is
Thank you, Mr.
arrangements that the school has made.
Correct. We will have, in relation to that, we will have a crisis team available. We will have a crisis team available at our high school throughout the day tomorrow. And we will also have a crisis team available at our high school on Saturday between the hours of 9 and 12.
What?
Statement of adequate notice. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Code of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Southfield Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On October 3rd, 2017, notice was faxed or mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune and the Sentinel. Also on October 3rd, notice was notice of the Southfield Board of Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. At that time, the notice was also posted at the Southfield Board of Clerk's office. A roll call.
Mr. Andre?
Here.
Mr. Bezak?
May be excused.
Mrs. Beck?
Here.
Mrs. Bush?
Ms. Bush, been excused.
Mrs. Cruz?
Here.
Mr. Nielsen?
Here.
Mr. Rosanna?
Here.
Mrs. Urbanic?
Mr. Banks, been accused.
Mr. Arluda? Mr. Arluda?
Here.
And Ms. Brown?
And she's been excused herself. All board members have copies of minutes of the September 25th and September 28th meetings. Board members, your pleasure.
Move the minutes in accordance with board policy.
Motion by Mrs. Cruz.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The use of facilities.
There are no new items on the agenda since Monday.
Board members, your pleasure.
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies. Second.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Ms. Rosanna. Comments on any of it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. And the financial report, Ms. Cruz.
Yes, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for August 2017 be approved, and I so move.
Second. Mrs. Cruz.
Second.
Second by Mr. Beck. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. This time we will open the meeting to the public for any comments or questions on items strictly on the agenda. All comments or questions are limited to 10 minutes. Anyone from the audience? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the meeting and continue with the agenda. And the first thing on the agenda is an honor for one of our students. It's a tough job in order to become an Eagle Scout. The project that he has done has been done in our school system. Something that is not easy to achieve.
Mr. Reynolds, can you talk in the mic? We can't hear you back there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe, is this any better?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Cindy. But it's a job that's a tireless job, but that the honor cannot be diminished. It's an awful lot of hard work, and congratulations has to go out, especially to the parents and especially to the student. And in that particular case, we'd like to present the student with a resolution. And that resolution, I'd like to give the honor to Mr. Rosanna.
Thank you. This young man that's being honored tonight, notice his last name was Rosano. That's because he's my grandson. And I tell you, his whole family is here. His whole family is here tonight, and we could not be more proud of this young man who took an initiative for his Eagle Scout project and decided to fix a part of the grounds, the baseball field dugouts, the varsity field dugouts, which fell into serious disrepair, were actually dangerous. And it was the visiting team would come, they wouldn't sit in the dugout. That's how bad it was. And Nick thought that would be an excellent thing to improve, not only for safety reasons, but for aesthetic reasons. I played baseball on this field when I was here at South River High School, and so does my grandson. And we are both very, very proud of the school and the district. And Nick, I can't tell you how proud we all are of you. And you notice you have some people from far away. So it's an honor for me, Nick, to present this to you. Resolution. Whereas Nicholas Rosano has taken on a project to improve the conditions of the South River varsity baseball field, and whereas Nicholas Rosano raised funds, organized a construction team, and the necessary labor to complete this project, and whereas Nicholas Rosano designed 2 memorial signs, and whereas Nicholas Rosano's fundraising efforts enabled the purchase of all materials needed for construction, additional baseball supplies, and a donation was made to the Marissa Tafaro Foundation. Resolved. The South River Board of Education, at its public meeting on October 19, 2017, wishes to recognize Nicholas Rosano for his dedication to the South River Public Schools, and be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education, at its public meeting of October 19, 2017, wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to Nicholas Rosano. It's signed by Kenneth J. Kukuska, Board Secretary, and Regis Wailuda, Board President. Congratulations. And thank you for doing such a great job. Okay. Nick has the presentation he's going to give now, Mr. President? Is he doing it now? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. She's using a projector, Reggie. Yeah, you gotta move it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Hello, everyone. My Eagle project, I started.
Oh, cool.
When I first started thinking of Eagle projects to do, I wanted to do something that would put back into the community of South River, and also serve as something that myself and my friends and everyone else's children will be able to use one day and for many years in the future. So I thought the one thing I could do is to give back to our high school baseball team. And when I first proposed this to my troop, they thought, will this really benefit the school? Like, is this really that bad that you have to do a project on this? And when I showed them these pictures of the before and after, they accepted it without hesitation. So I just wanted to share all the hard work that we put in throughout the 4 weeks, and all the hours of parents and my friends coming. And I would just like to thank Mr. Pfister, former superintendent of the South River Public Schools, Coach Lepore, Mr. Buffalino, Ms. Buffalino, Mr. Blajda, the current administration, and the Board of Education. It was a great team effort. Now, this is the home dugout. This is where we stayed. As you can see, you know, it's not really gray, it's maroon. And this is the final ending. This is the inside of the dugout. We power washed the whole inside and sanded it and then painted it. Sherwin-Williams donated 10 paint cans, 10 free paint cans for us. At first we only got 5 and we had to go back a few times because we needed so much extra paint to just go over all of the wood. And then the sign right there, there's going to be a better picture of it soon, but that sign, the shed was built by Mr. Bernanke, Sigmund Bernanke, and he's friends with my mom. Miss Grimm taught here at South River, and she was there when I was little. I would go to her house. So we wanted to redo the sign for them and put a brand new sign up, make it look nice. And then these are pictures of my friends and I in the hot weather and later rain, working, getting rid of all the grass and making a warning track right by the out of play area by the dugout. And this was by far the worst part of the whole field, I think. This wall right here, you know, kids walk by, throw rocks at it after school, and we completely just put wood right over it and painted right over it, and the difference was tremendous. And that sign that we put on the back of the home dugout, we wanted people to know that this was our field, and due to the passing of Coach Lepore Sr., we wanted to dedicate the sign to him because he put such a big impact on the team for the years that he was there. This is about as far as we went with the project. We stopped right about the scoreboard. We didn't do any painting or replacing here. We basically just cleaned up all the leaves and the weeds as they were just as high as the top bleacher when we first got there. And this is the away dugout. Here we cut trees out of the bleachers and cleared the path behind it with poison ivy. And a lot of holes were there from birds and rats. We actually found baby birds inside of that hole right there. And we took them out, made sure they were okay, and gave them back. And the picture on the left is a path where the away parents would have to go through, just going to the bleachers to watch their kids play. And the picture on the right is what it looks like now. Now, these are, along with me refurbishing the field and fixing the dugouts, I also purchased a lot of equipment for the baseball team. I know how much Coach Lepore likes getting new things that we can use. So with the $3,775 that we raised, thanks to everyone that donated to the GoFundMe, I bought new light plate baseballs, a bat holder, screens for us to use during batting practice, a brand new home plate, and a batter's box to use during batting practice as well. This is all the on-site logistics. It took us 6 days, so 2 days over 3 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. We had 36 different individuals come throughout the 6 days. Some were from the baseball team, some were from our troop, scouts, family, friends, and the approximate hours altogether are 239 hours, which is about 30 hours additional of just paperwork and prepping it all. And I think that's all we have. Thank you.
Great job.
Again, thank you, and it is definitely a good job. And let's not forget one other, or some other people that are very, very connected to it, especially Liz. Please stand, and you deserve an applause as well.
Nick's father, Chris, you were there helping out. Stand up, Chris. And Nick's grandmother, Linda. It's too late. You got to stand now. I think that's it that are here. So, thank you.
Okay. And you're welcome to stay for the rest of the evening. If you feel like that some rooms are over, fine, but you're all welcome to stay. And continuing with committee reports. Superintendent's report. Mrs. Ecker.
As Nick is walking out, I also did want to make, where is he? Walk down.
Nick, hold on.
Hold on, Nick.
Just before you rush out of here, I did want to just commend Nick. And one of the things that I've heard about the work on this project is really about Nick's leadership style and how he led and managed this project. So it's not just that the work got done, but it was really all of the leadership skills that he put in place to make sure that that large group of people that were working together to get it done did so effectively, safely, and so on. So I really do commend you for that. And again, thank you so much. Today for our superintendent's report, the first item is to approve our CUSAC Statement of Assurance. We are in 100% compliance in this document in the areas of governance, personnel, curriculum and instruction, finance, and operations.
We'll do that with the consent.
The next item on the superintendent's report today is our annual district report of violence and vandalism. I'm going to turn it over to Nicole Yorick to provide this presentation to you. Nicole is in charge of our character education programs in the district, which is an integral part of really being proactive when it comes to incidents of vandalism and violence. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. We have to move it.
Thank you for having me be here tonight to present South River School District report on violence and vandalism. The data that was compiled is from January 2017 through June 2017. The presentation overview is quite simple. The brief presentation will outline our public schools district's report on violence and vandalism from January 2017 through June of 2017. It will also highlight how we help our students learn and grow from mistakes, as well as indicate the district's prevention initiatives. So as I previously mentioned, this is from data collected from January 2016 January 17 through June 2017. It's report period 2. There are several different sections. Section A is the count of incidents by the reporting category. Section B is the cost of vandalism. Section C, actions taken. Section D, offenders and victims. And the last section is program provided upon disciplinary action. So here are our totals, the counts of incidents by the reporting category, Section A. There were, from that time period, 11 cases of violence, 1 vandalism, 1 weapons, 2 substance abuse, and 4 confirmed HIBs, for a total of 19. For Section B, cost of vandalism, there were 0 incidents involving a cost to the district. Section C, actions taken. Police were notified with no complaint, 2 incidents occurred. Police notified where there was a complaint filed, 3. In-school suspension, 3. Out-of-school suspensions, 20. Expulsions, removals, or removal by the ALJ, 0. Section D, offenders and victims. Student offenders, there were 28 in total. Student victims, 8. School personnel victims, 2. And student victims of violent criminal offense, 1. Section E, which is the last section, is the program provided upon disciplinary actions. Assignments, educational program, instruction, and or support services, there were a total of 24. In-district program, 0. Home assignment or home instruction, there were 20 opportunities. And out-of-district programs, 0. These are the incident listings by the school. There were none reported at the primary school. At the elementary school, there was 1 HIB and 1 act of violence. At the middle school, 2 HIBs, 2 acts of violence, and 1 weapons incident. And at the South River High School, 1 HIB, 8 violence, 1 vandalism, and 2 incidences of substance abuse. So moving past that, it's now a time to reflect and think about how we can help our students learn and grow from their mistakes. So there's certain programs that have been put in place here in the district. They include reflective practices, behavior monitoring, including behavior monitoring charts, the Love and Logic approach, restorative discipline practices that have been implemented at the primary school, the LEAD program, and the REDEEM program at the high school. Prevention initiatives, there are several, including bully busting curriculum, door decorating contests, which promote culture and climate and positive school environments. The LEAD program, bucket filling. There are various spirit days and community involvement days. The color wars. There are incentives for coming to school on time and being present. Kindness Club, Footprints for Life program, and making a positive imprint, which again, as I mentioned before, is a preventative initiative, and that one takes place in the middle school. So thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
For this month's monthly report, I wanted to let everybody know our Facebook page is up and running on the district website. We've been able to post some district happenings and events. So please go right to our district website. There's a link to our Facebook page right from the home page. So please check that out and like us on Facebook. Graduation testing requirements. On Friday, we sent out an ERAM that's extremely important for our high school students. This is notification about specific information regarding graduation testing requirements. Please make sure if you have a high school student and middle school student that you're looking at that very, very carefully. The letters are grade specific and graduation year specific because the graduation requirements vary based on the year of graduation for your child. So please make sure you're looking at that very, very carefully. We will be posting that on the district website as well. I've been going around the district doing some meet and greet activities. I've been in each one of our faculty rooms during lunchtime in all of our buildings. I've been getting to know our teachers. I've been hearing everything from who's running a half marathon for the first time to what we need in our chemistry labs and our chemistry classes. It's been a great experience to get to know our teachers and staff on a personal level, but then also really get a clear picture of what's working in the district and what are our areas to really develop and to grow. Our professional development day was on October 6th. Our staff spent a full day of professional development, and we had several sessions on that day. These included a presentation on identifying and addressing bullying behaviors. We also had the introduction to our new individualized program, iReady. We had a workshop on understanding Generation Y and Z. That one was extremely well received by our teachers and staff. There were several other sessions as well, because this time we made an attempt to provide, as much as we could, a differentiated approach to professional development. So some of the sessions were content-specific or grade level-specific, and moving forward, we're going to be really paying attention to that component, making sure that as we talk about the importance of differentiating instruction for kids, that we're also meeting that requirement and differentiating for the needs of our teachers as well. 3 Gratitudes a Day. This was an initiative that I started on the first day for teachers here. And I challenged our teachers to journal 3 gratitudes each day for 21 days. And I asked teachers to go ahead and challenge our students to do the same. And so, I'm going to pull it out. But one of our middle school science teachers actually had her class work on 3 gratitudes a day. And then upon completion of this activity, she had the students reflect on a Post-it note what it felt like after 21 days of recording 3 things they're grateful for. And I really liked some of their comments and wanted to share them. So a student wrote, "I learned that there's something to be thankful for each and every day. I learned that life is great. Nothing is impossible if you try or show effort. Don't give up, and let your positive attitude lead." I think writing gratitudes each day helped me feel better about what I have. I learned that there are many positives in life, and you should always think about them. So those are just some of the things that kids wrote about going through this process, and it really was, according to their teacher, a very positive experience for them, and just really shed some light on with everything happening in our world, the many things that we do have to be grateful for as well. And finally, I recently saw the local publication called the South River Progress. And I was happy to see that the top headline was the great news about the successful and much appreciated repaving on Montgomery Street. Certainly that has been a major improvement for the entire community. Our students, staff, parents, and the school district is extremely appreciative for this. I want to address the part of the article which discusses ways in which the borough saves the school, our schools money, and discusses our budget in general. Everyone who knows and cares about this school district is aware of our financial struggles. And certainly these struggles, which started in 2010, have really just gotten worse each year since then. And we have eliminated positions, we have reduced programs in an attempt to stretch every dollar while providing the best education possible for our students as well. And regardless of whether a South River citizen has a student in our district or not, it is a known fact that school districts are truly the centerpiece of every community, here in South River, but in every community. And first and foremost, we educate the children of this wonderful and diverse town, but the school district is also a social center, a source of town pride, and of true community. Anyone looking to buy property to move into or stay in any municipality looks to the quality of the school district as a vital part of the home value. And in the interest of clarity, I want to share some facts that were addressed in the article, really for the purposes of clarification. The article mentioned a shared service agreement with the borough, and we do have a shared service agreement. It's a wonderful, broad, and mutually beneficial agreement. Really ahead of its time when it was first entered, and still an important benefit to both the borough as well as our school district. Under a shared service agreement, the borough provides snow plowing, garbage pickup, recyclable pickup, street sweeping. The school district provides use of facilities and has structured its policy on that issue to allow for no charge used by the borough. This includes an unending list of uses: recreational sports games, practices, activities, adult recreation classes, borough council meetings, other municipal organization meetings, parking lot use, and so on. And the borough is by far the main user of our district facilities outside of our students. And the current structure, all of that, the current structure of our policy and that agreement, all of that use is free. In these financial times, certainly the district could reform its policies and the shared service agreement to create a major source of revenue for our district, but we have never done so, and we don't plan to do so. If we figured out the market value under the board policy for all borough uses, we could fund all of the projects that were listed in the South River Progress article, but we don't, because that is not how we see our community working. On the electrical charge issue that was brought up in the article cites a 67% discount on the electrical rates paid by the school district. We asked for a small consideration of a demand charge waiver for 2 months out of the year. We asked for July and August. The council would not agree, and this left the district as the only large public entity that still pays the charge all year round. Denny Stadium is the only track in town. Our tennis courts are the only ones in town. Our request for an allocation of some of the grant money referenced in the article to resurface the track and tennis courts were intended to benefit the entire community who uses those facilities. And lastly, the article mentions a revision to our state aid for the 17-18 school year. We did receive $174,000, which I have spoken to before at our board meetings. Not $300,000, which is what was in the article. But regardless of that, we received this aid, and the board allocated it to prevent the planned elimination of teaching positions. We used that funding to bring back eliminated positions to the district. As the article suggests, $277,000 cannot by any means bring back all of the staffing, all the positions we lost, resurface tennis courts, resurface the track. It's just not realistic, and I wish it could be done, but that's just not the case. So we struggle financially with a small administrative staff, not enough teachers and facilities that we would like to update more than we are able to. We have negotiated an extremely taxpayer-friendly settlement with our teachers and other staff members, and we have allocated the revised state aid all in an effort to provide the best K-12 education on a shoestring budget that we can. We just want the public to be aware of the facts and that we are doing everything in our power to operate a truly thorough and truly efficient educational system for our students, for your students. And we never want anyone to be under the false impression that this school district is receiving any windfall benefits or that we are being selfish with our facilities. It's just not the case. We are the proud face of this community, and we will continue to.
Very good. Thank you.
Very good.
The next item on our agenda today is a presentation to the board and the public on our student performance data. I'm going to invite Dr. Trevisano and Ms. Buffalino to come and share this data.
Thank you and good evening. I hate using microphones. I'm Italian. I've always been told I have a big mouth, but in the interest of the meeting, I will use the microphone. Is it working?
Yes.
I've never used a microphone before, so this
You need it for the TV camera.
okay. Even better. Anyway, this is a presentation of the data from the 2016-17 school year. Some of the data is a little historical, where we have a comparison of data from the 15-16 school year and 16-17, organized in tables for your benefit. So to start off really quickly, we want to talk about PARC and some of the graduation requirements that the superintendent had alluded to. PARC is still used as the measure of proficiency for grades 3-8, high school, grade 9-11 ELA, and algebra, geometry, algebra 2 in the math classes. The graduation requirements that had recently changed and had been sent out, the highlights are here. I put them in this presentation for you. The class of 2020 still has the availability to pass any one of the high school math assessments, being algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and any one of the English assessments, the high school, English 9, 10, or 11. Now, the difference is with the class of 2020, if a student does not demonstrate proficiency on one of the PARC exams, as long as they have taken and attempted the exam, they are then eligible for any one of the alternate proficiency assessments, being the SAT, PSAT, ACT, and there's a very, very long list. Again, it's in the note that I had sent out. Alternatively, if they still do not achieve a passing score, they're then subject to being able to take the portfolio assessment and have those submitted to the state for their consideration. The class of 2021, the current freshmen, is the first set where the Algebra 1 PARC and the English 10 PARC are required. There's your new graduation requirements. Current freshmen in the class of 2021 have to pass or achieve a passing score in the Algebra 1 PARC exam, and then subsequently in their sophomore year pass the English 10 PARC exam. There is no alternate graduation requirement, SAT, PSAT, ACT. While they are college career readiness and they will assist students getting into college, do not count as a high school graduation requirement any longer. If a passing score in the Algebra 1 and or the English 10 is not achieved, the alternate requirements would be the portfolio assessment. The qualifier in that is the same as 2020. What that means is, in order to be eligible to take the portfolio assessment, they would have had to take and attempt all of the PARC assessments for high school courses. If they take and attempt the PARC exams for all high school courses and do not achieve a passing score in Algebra 1 and English 10, they can then be portfolio assessed and have those assessments submitted to the state of New Jersey for their consideration. With regard to PARC, there is a little bit of confusion with people that get their PARC reports, so I wanted to clarify a little bit here. Your levels are spelled out in individual student reports as well as in the state, the level 1 through 5. Where I wanted to go is in between the level 4 and the 5, the meeting and the exceeding. You'll note that there's a TBD in the raw score, and that's because that is a sliding scale. In some courses, for argument's sake, the difference between a 4 and a 5 is 775, and in some courses it's an 802. So that is a sliding scale that really can't be determined until the results from the testing come back, and once we get that, then we get the scores in between the 4 and the 5. Level 3 approaching is still set at 725 to 749, and the other scores are relevant as well. The scores on the scale range from 650 to 850 overall. Okay, so South River Elementary School, I broke down the presentation by elementary, then middle, then high school. Again, testing takes place in grades 3 through high school, so the primary school does not have any standardized testing requirements. You'll note the 2016 versus 2017 students who exceeded. These are the students who got a 4 or a 5 in their content areas for English and in their content areas for math. On the right-hand side is a net change. I apologize for the green. I used the wrong shade of green. I should have used a darker green, but I used a lime green because on my little computer screen it really looked good. So I'll learn for next time. My apologies. There's a net percent change, and the net percent change is just derived from the subtraction from 17 and 16. You'll see throughout the presentation there are some increases, there are some decreases. Again, this is 2 years of data combined. This is inclusive of the entire population by grade, so it is not differentiated by subgroup. South River Middle School results are here. There is a little qualifier which I want to give you on the bottom of this. Again, broken out by grade.
Much better.
I was looking at the presenter. I'll make sure it didn't turn off the lights. Okay, so the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, English language arts, again, the percentage, you'll note the percent between the 2016 students and 17 students. The qualifier here on the bottom is that in 8th grade math, there are 2 separate sections. There's the Algebra 1 classes and the grade 8 classes. A student enrolled in Algebra 1 in the middle school is eligible to take the Algebra 1 exam. So they do not take the Math 8 exam. So that will be differentiated by the courses that the students are currently enrolled in. Okay. South River High School park results. Again, there's a slight qualifier within the math. English 9, 10, 11 are grade-based. So the 9th graders test 10th and 11th graders. Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2 are content-based exams, and theoretically, you'll have students across multiple grade levels in a particular course. Students in Geometry could theoretically range from grade 9 through 12, so there is no grade level breakdown. It's a little bit difficult to tell you how many 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders in each of those courses achieved any of the proficiency levels. The other thing, oh no, I'll get to that a little bit later. So those are your individual school results. Again, I apologize for the color green. Okay, summary by school. These are, this is just an overall look. This is the 2016-17 school year, so the 17 results broken down overall. This is a collated percent, putting English and math together. I'm sorry, putting all the grades together with the proficiency levels across the board. You'll see 1 through 5s. And the overall percent of students combined that received a 4 or a 5 in their respective tests at the English or the math levels. Okay. So next, what we did is a comparison for the 2017, again, last year's students as compared to the state. These, again, are percentages. We compare percentages because, obviously, student raw numbers can't be compared to the entire state of New Jersey. On a qualifier, on grade 11, the grade 11 English Language Arts does not include students across the state that were enrolled in an international baccalaureate program or that took an AP English exam. Those, in some districts across the state, students did not take AP English and their park exam in grade 11. So some of the results statewide are skewed on the grade 11 English Language Arts. But again, this is a snapshot of how our district did in each of the levels. I have the same same comparison in mathematics. Here's the state versus the South River performance in mathematics. Again, the asterisk with the grade 8. The grade 8 does not include students who took the Algebra 1 assessment. So middle school students in grade 8 are put into the Algebra 1 category. So the Algebra 1 category includes both middle school and high school students that took that particular exam. Again, noting across the state the percentages for the 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 within the various grades. Okay. Next is a demographic breakdown. We did a demographic breakdown for ELA, and because of the number of reporting categories that we have, the print is a little small. I apologize. But if you look really closely, you might be able to see some of the numbers, but this is the demographic breakdown, both by gender, by race, and then by limited English, 504 special ed, and then general education. Broken down English language arts 1 through 5 across the district. It is a 2-year comparison to see what we're doing in each of these different categories for the state. Same breakdown in math. All demographics have been expanded through all the different levels. Now this is a district look. This is not by school. This is not by course. This is not by test. This is the district as a whole. So all students, grade 3, 8, and high school, were collated to represent this data, both in 16 and in 17. This is South River versus South Rivers for the two grade levels. I'm sorry, for the 2 graduating years. All right, so moving away from Park into the New Jersey Science, the biology end of course, and currently the grade 4-8 testing. This is the percent that passed the assessment as compared to the state. It's not it's not Park, it's not 650 to 850. It's a completely different grading scale. It's a different vendor of tests. But you can see our performance in 16 and 17 as compared to the state of New Jersey. This brings up a slight change in testing that we were made aware of very, very recently, and that is that the biology end of course assessment will no longer be given in New Jersey. As of this school year, it is a comprehensive high school 9, 10, 11 assessment. The grade 4 science assessment will no longer be given in New Jersey. It's now a grade 5 comprehensive science assessment. We're waiting for data from the state. They're currently in the process of procurement. We've been told we'll get it soon. As soon as it's received, I will disseminate that information. Snapshot of ACT and SAT composite data. On the left-hand side is the ACT mean score that we have here in South River as compared to the state. And the AP exam data as a whole, overall, that we have here. Then on the right, you'll note the SAT mean score and the content means. These scores are very, very different between 16 and 17 because in 16, during that year, they changed the SAT from 3 separate components back to the original 2 components. So it's no longer a reading, a writing, and then a math exam with 3 separate scores. It's now a combined reading, writing score, and then a math score. And that's why you'll see 2 completely different sets of data. In 16-17, the mean score for reading, in 2016, the mean score for reading was 459 and the writing was 441 versus this past year in 17 where it's a combined score of 502. So that's why those numbers are very skewed, very different. That's what we have here for the standardized test data. The next slide is on the breakdown, AP mean scores by course. And what we did here on these slides is compared the number of students and the performance of our students as compared to students in New Jersey that took the same scores as reported by College Board. So our scores are in the middle, the College Board scores are on the bottom, but they would incorporate or encompass all the districts in New Jersey. All right, so in consultation with Mrs. Zurcher, we really looked at 3 instructional goals we have for this particular year, 3 focuses, areas of focus. One of them is increasing proficiency in mathematics. At the end of the day, the Algebra 1 graduation requirement for the class of 2021 is here, and our current freshmen have to pass that test in order to graduate high school. Algebra 1 is not a pure content-based exam. And what I mean by that is it's not an exam that's a one-year test. Algebra 1 it's almost a pathway for high school, however, relies very heavily on the instruction that's been given in the years prior to that. It's really, if you think about it, a grade 3 through 9 test. All that content and all that information is really collated, it's put together, and then finally applied in the Algebra 1 class. So we want to take a look at the proficiency in mathematics at all grade levels and really work to support our teachers in improving some of the results that we get there. Our second one is including the proficiency in the English language arts at primary levels to really get the kids at or above grade level in reading in grade 3. Early intervention is the key to this. It truly is, and we can have an entire another meeting to discuss the early intervention and the benefits of early intervention in English and language arts, but that's really one of our focuses. The final focus is increasing the proficiency in ELA and math at the middle school overall. Currently below state averages. You might have noticed that from the data and from the color coding. So we're going to really take a hard look at the audit, at the curriculum, the resources, the instruction, and what's really taking place at the middle school. Assist the teachers and really try to give them what they need to do the best job they can for our students. A couple of areas that we took a look at for initiatives. We're really looking at targeting instruction and resources, the ISI program. We're in the process of setting a few meetings on that. We're bringing in a foundation system. Foundation system is a targeted intervention program, but we're really looking at starting that in the kindergarten year this year and then scaffolding that in subsequent years. So this year, initially, would be kindergarten. The following year would be kindergarten first grade. The following year would be kindergarten first and second grade to, again, work with the kids, early intervention, assist them at the youngest level possible to really help them move ahead. We brought in iReady. It's an online diagnostic and differentiating instructional tool. Parents will be getting information about that within the next potentially week or so. It really depends on when we have our data back from that. It is a prescriptive intervention tool that students will take a diagnostic, and based on their performance, they will receive targeted instruction skills that will support them at their current level, regardless of where that level is. We're really looking at data-driven instruction. Bring the teachers, allow them to see their performance. We just brought in a program called Link It. Link It allows teachers to be able to see their student data in a snapshot, so they can pull up their current students and see all of their performance at standardized tests and eventually any data that we give them over the course of time. So they theoretically in high school be able to look back at all their middle school results and get a better picture in a standards breakdown of where their students struggle and where they excel. We're looking at different after-school instruction to really take place at all of our schools, and then an evaluation of assessment strategies. Look at the formative assessments that the teachers are using to determine how their students are learning in the class in an incremental basis. So that's really some of the initiatives that we're doing. As an administrative team, we're really also taking a look at some of the instructional programs, and these goals and these initiatives will be changing as the school year progresses. All right, I'll turn this over to Mrs. Buffalino.
Thank you very much. I'm here to provide you with two other key pieces of information. You know that the elementary school, South River Elementary School, has been in what we call a focus status. And what that essentially means is that the state, under the Regional Achievement Centers, was monitoring the school for a number of years due to a previously identified achievement gap. Earlier this summer, the State Department actually redid the entire Regional Achievement Center philosophy and program and renamed the services under something known as the Comprehensive Support Network, more commonly known as the CSN. The CSN team is in the process of reviewing all state data and school data from all the districts in New Jersey. They will reorder all that district data and then ultimately determine which schools are targeted for very customized, specific, and comprehensive attention and supplementary services. We were told that right now the CSN is actually looking to target the bottom 5% of schools that fall at the bottom of that comprehensive list. Things that they are looking at are various criteria, which include SGPs, chronic absenteeism, graduation rates, and of course our test scores. They will be called or itemized as targeted schools. The services that will be provided by CSN teams are very customized, very comprehensive, and very specific. Currently, we're called a focus school. It is our hope that we make it out of that category and we are not a CSN school. The other piece, okay, that I would like to bring to your attention is our district assessment schedule. We do, as a district, sponsor a variety of assessments throughout the year, and there is a compiled list and spreadsheet of all these assessments, their timelines, length of the assessment, requirement under state or federal guidelines, as well as brief descriptions for each assessment. That spreadsheet has been uploaded to the district website. More specifically, if you go to the curriculum tab, scroll down and look for the district assessment schedule, and all the information is available there. Everything from PARC to ASVAB to AP exams to dynamic learning maps, anything that the district sponsors is located there. All stakeholders can also find other pertinent information such as links to the state-sponsored assessment websites as well as practice items. So that is currently available. As we come up with more specific testing dates, we will update that district assessment schedule. Right now for the park, we have the windows, the testing windows uploaded. We will be updating that with specific exam dates in the very near future. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you both. Good job, everyone.
I want to mention that that presentation is also going to be on the district website. The charts that were provided are actually templates that the state provides us with the required information that we have to provide in this presentation. So I know it's a lot of information, not the easiest template to read. That's why we're providing it on our district website. And our board members also have their own copy of the presentation to review as well.
So sorry for that. Thank you to Joe and Camilla for the presentation this evening.
Okay.
The last item on the agenda is a confirmed HIB as well.
All the items under the superintendent's report will be included in the consent resolution. And consent resolution?
The South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature on time. Whereas the below list of resolutions are hereby adopted by said Board of Education in full as if the same were individually acted upon. The Superintendent's Report, items 1 through 5. The President of the Board, item 2. The Building and Grounds, item 1. And the Finance, items 1 through 11. Under Instructions, items 1 through 6. Under Negotiations, item 1. Under Human Resources, items 1 through 13. And Safety and Risk, items 1, 2, and 3.
I have just one request or alteration. The contract negotiation vote, I'd like to pull that and just tag that separate. This is such an important item, I think it should be read separately. And if Mr. Nielsen, you are the negotiating team, would you, when we get the negotiation report, would you read it, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Just bring that over to the last second.
And
So need a motion.
do I hear a motion?
Nielsen.
First by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mrs. Cruz. Any comments or questions or alterations? You want to?
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna?
Yes.
Mr. Wetler?
Yes, motion so carried. And the committee reports. The athletic committee,
Just a few things. This past week was homecoming for the football team, which is actually a huge deal of spirit all throughout the district. Homecoming parade, it was done well. The juniors won the float building contest. King and queen for the day were Sophia Di Giovanni, and the king was Christian Alito. My brain's going in different directions tonight. Spirit Week was won by the seniors, and they had a great time this time.
okay. And buildings and grounds, Mr. Nielsen.
Nothing new to report tonight, sir.
And finance, Mrs. Cruz.
Yes, we had one deletion and two additions. Number 7 was pulled, the contract for Dave & Buster's New York grade 8 field trip. And then additionally, we had added number 10, approval award contract railroad bus service German club field trip for 2017-18 school year. And 11, approval award contract educational travel tours Inc. grade 12 senior class trip 2017-18 school year. And that concludes my report.
Mr. Rosanna, construction.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are no changes since the other night. However, I do want the people to know that under curriculum guides, we've approved 2. One is the high school, tomorrow's teachers, and the other one is the primary school, grade 2 science. That's all I have.
And under negotiations, Mr. Nielsen.
We have one item, sir. Approve, ratify memorandum of agreement for 2017 through 2019 collective bargaining agreement between the South River Board of Education and the South River Education Association. Negotiations Committee, upon recommendation of the superintendent, recommends that the memorandum of agreement for the 2017 through 2019 collective bargaining agreement between the South River Board of Education and the South River Education Association be approved. And I so move.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mr. Rosanna. Any comments or questions? Chris, you want to just give a rundown on the negotiation before we take the vote?
Yeah, just briefly. Obviously, negotiations this year took place at yet another fiscally difficult time for this school district. The SREA ultimately was very, very cooperative and understood the realities that we were facing as a district and partnered with us. At the end, we ended up with as far as the primary items of a settlement, there were over 50 different changes made in the contract, but as far as the snapshot goes, the salaries were below the county and state average and were affordable well within what had been budgeted and what had been afforded through the 2017-18 budget. And the health insurance contributions under Chapter 78, which is now expired, were contractually retained at their full implementation level, which means that the teachers are continuing to share in the costs and in the growing premiums, although they have the option of going down to lower cost plans. So it is overall a very taxpayer-friendly settlement, as Ms. Zurcher mentioned during her discussion earlier. And it is one that's highly recommended by the negotiations committee and by me and by the administration. It was ratified on October 12th by the SREA with an 81% approval. So the last step in this process, we have a prepared contract pending the board's vote tonight.
Anyone else have any comments? Roll call.
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna?
Yes.
Mr. Wetler?
Yes, motion so carried. And yes, REA, thank you very much. This is one of the best negotiation sessions we've had in many, many years in the district, and hope it continues. Continue with the Committee reports, policy, Mr. Nielsen,
Nothing new to report tonight.
human resources.
One item to report, approve resignation of Jennifer Fox, part-time primary school special education teacher.
And safety and risk management, Mr. Andre,
No new items, Mr. President.
community relations, Mr. Rosanna.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item is South River Foundation for Educational Excellence is holding a Harlem Wizards fundraiser. It is going to be held at South River High School on Sunday, October 29th at 1 p.m. The afternoon promises to be a fun-filled event with and it's great for kids and adults and will guarantee to put a smile on your face. By the way, if you're not familiar with the Harlem Wizards, they're like the Harlem Globetrotters. And in my opinion, I've seen them several times. They're just as good. Okay? And they're a lot of fun to go watch. They have a unique mission, create awe-inspiring events throughout the country. And they do. At a Wizards game, fans will witness amazing basketball talent combined with hilarious comedy. It's 2 hours of family time where parents, grandparents, and kids can all laugh together. When you're in the stands, you're more than a spectator. You're a part of the show with loads of audience participation. Throughout the game, fans will experience a magical display of tricks, coordinated ball handling, fancy passing, and aerodynamic athleticism combined with high energy, comedy, and audience interaction. The experience can only be summed up in 2 words, awe-inspiring, and I agree. Tickets purchased before the event are $12 for adults, $10 for children. Tickets will also be available on the day of the game at South River High School Gym at 12 noon for $20 for adults and $15 for children. And online at Harlem Wizards, harlemwizards.thundertix.com/orders/new?performance_ID equals 1823497. You got all that?
If you go on to harlemwizards.com.
Oh, harlemwizards.com. What do you know?
Yeah, well, could you continue it? I did this yesterday.
Why, you
But you can actually easily navigate to get to it.
harlemwizards.com.
Exactly what it takes.
Yeah, so, but I highly recommend them. I've seen them many times, and they're really good, okay? Let's see, September Student of the Month in 8th grade, Angelina Adams gets excellent grades, attributes it to handing in her homework on time, trying her best and paying attention. She enjoys science class because she loves to do the labs. They're always challenging and exciting for her. Her favorite teacher is Ms. Garada at South River Middle School, and her hobbies include reading, drawing, and doing gymnastics at her house. 7th grade Student of the Month for September was Laura Fontaine. Laura gets very good grades. She has high expectations of herself, and she enjoys playing basketball on the South River team. She's also on the YMCA swim team. When she likes to relax, she likes to watch shows on Netflix. Laura is very friendly and a model student, according to her teachers. And she is what South River stands for with her pleasant attitude towards school, her peers, and faculty. 6th grade September Student of the Month was Joanna Moreira Silva. Okay, she does her homework on time, respects her teachers, and pays attention during class. Her favorite subject is language arts because she enjoys writing and has the opportunity to do that in that class. Outside of school, she likes going to the park, bike riding with her friends. Joanna is also a member of the Kids Club in her community church. Keep up the excellent work, kids. Now, Cameron Latraverse, a 4th grader at South River Elementary School, will have her artwork on display at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center as part of the Art Educators of New Jersey's fall exhibit. Cameron's work was chosen along with other students from all across New Jersey to be part of the exhibit that will be on display until early December. The NJ PAC, as you know, is located in Newark, and is a very, very busy venue. So a lot of people, thousands of people, will probably see Cameron's work. All right. The judges were amazed at the talent that this young woman has, and the students of New Jersey have, including Cameron. A reception will honor the participating student artists and will be held at the Victoria Theater at NJPAC on Saturday, October 14, 2017 at 11 a.m. 3 things you'll get from taking the PSAT. As you know, that is offered here. And one of the things you get is you get connected to scholarships. When you take the PSAT, NMSQT, they have an opportunity, students have an opportunity to enter the National Merit Scholarship Program, an academic competition for recognition and scholarships. The test also connects them to $160 million in scholarships from one of the largest scholarship pools in the country. Students should check yes to Student Search Services on the day of the test so that scholarship partners can find them. 2, free personalized SAT practice. The assessment is a great preparation for the SAT. Your teen's score even unlocks a personalized SAT study plan on Khan Academy. It's completely free. Students go simply to SATpractice.org. Yeah, that's right, SATpractice.org. Create an account and link their College Board and Khan Academy accounts to get a study plan based on their test results. 3, AP course recommendations. Student score reports suggest AP courses that are a great match for them. AP could give your teen an edge in the admission process and allows them to earn college credit while in high school, which could save them time and money in college. South River High School Guidance Department can give you further knowledge on that area. This one already happened, but what can I tell you? Special Education Parent Advisory Meeting was held on Tuesday, October 17th at 5 p.m. At the elementary school. It was a meet and greet for the director, Margaret Pribble, and there were questions and feedback, concerns, and a special presentation by Odalis Delatorre, Learning Disabilities Teacher Consultant, on how to prepare for your child's annual IEP review meeting. And one more thing, homecoming, Mr. Sherman submitted a report. Mrs. Beck really pretty much covered everything. The class of 2019 won the float award, that's the juniors. Bugs Bunny themed float was selected as the winning float by the judges. And at halftime, as Mrs. Beck pointed out, the king and queen in their court were named, and of course we beat Highland Park by a very lopsided score. And it was great. It was homecoming. I saw a lot of kids that I went to school with. A lot of kids, yeah. A lot of people I went to school with. And it was terrific to see them. And one of South River's professional football players, Joe Thiesman, was back here in the stands at the football game and went to the dinner that night. And as many of you know, he was the quarterback for the Washington Redskins and led them to a Super Bowl victory in the 80s, I think. Yeah. So it was a wonderful day, and the whole staff at South River High School. I want to thank the police department also for their cooperation, and it was just great. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have anything else? No? Liaison to the borough?
Yes, we had a meeting this evening. We went over a couple items on the agenda were superintendent's meet and greet. We gave them an update on how that went. The update on dismissal and revivals at the schools with the new change in times, and everything seems to be running on schedule and very well with traffic flow. And the parent academies that we have upcoming. And then they mentioned to us that they have some new housing that will be going in the triangle section between Division and Charles Street, and the slight impact that they think that might have on our school district. And that concludes my report.
So the PTA, Mrs.
A few things here. A couple weeks ago, I met up with the elementary school and middle school PTAs. Their meetings are the same night, one right back to the other one. They were working on fundraisers, and they talked briefly how the new paving and the new parking and the new time schedule for the school, a little crazy, the first day of school because it then rained on top of it. So everybody was in their cars. But everything's working out well now. A lot of the kinks have been worked out. It's all positive at this point. Then we have, SEPTA had their meeting last week. They had a presenter, Desiree Bonner from the Special Needs Parent Cafe, which is something I recommend. This is in support of those who take care of special needs kids. Like I said, being a caregiver, it makes a big deal. You do need to get a break once in a while. Whether it's shopping by yourself or something like that, they do provide services. I have cards for anybody who wants information on it. And I'm sure Danielle has it linked on her Facebook and website page, and I'm sure she'll mention it when she comes up and talks. And then the middle school had a PTA did a dance last week for the kids. Last night, Kelly stepped in for me for the high school PTSA. They're talking about a lot of it's fundraisers. They're talking about the homecoming dance that had happened. And then the president's comments is they're collaborating with the other PTAs and nonprofits to help do other things with the kids. And then the other thing all the PTAs are doing together, for anybody who's interested, is the candidates night on next Friday night, October 27th at 7 p.m. at the cafetorium. And then the next meetings, the primary school is October 25th at 6:30, which will not be in attendance. I'll get information on that one afterwards. The elementary school and middle school are both on November 7th, one at 5:30, one at 6:30. And SEPTA is on November 9th at 6:30. So it concludes my report.
Suzanne, anything in the library?
I got the library too.
Oh, okay.
Since Ray's not here, he gave me some information. I just wanted to say that the Friends of the Library will be having a book and bake sale November 8th, 9th, and 10th during library hours. Please come out and support our public library. And then number 2, on Election Day, there will be a question on the ballot regarding the Library Construction Bond Act. It says go to the njlibrariesbuildcommunities.org for more information. He goes, this is a very good thing, and if approved by the voters, monies will be used to upgrade public libraries and help defray the cost of repairs.
And the Educational Foundation?
And the Educational Foundation is also meeting tonight. And that's basically, I know, missed their meeting because of conflicts, but Sinead let me know. They're basically Harlem Wizards fundraisers, which I think we've all heard a few times. I think it's going to be a great night. I've already bought a ticket. I unfortunately cannot make it to the event, so somebody else who can't, I've asked, Mrs. Smith had asked me if I could donate that ticket to someone. Gladly, if something changed, I'll just buy another ticket and come. So that concludes my reports.
And Mr. Parton, anything?
No, nothing to add since Monday.
And our student rep has been excused for the evening. So is there any old or new business before the board?
I just have one thing. Project graduation update, they are still selling their American Girl raffle tickets for $10 a ticket. The total prize package is $415. It includes the doll, the very large horse, the stable, and all the accessories that go with it. And in addition, we're also selling discount cards to local eateries in the area. And because it has 6 months left on it, it is now $5. So anybody interested in a discount card or 10% off at local eateries, feel free to reach out.
Anyone else? So we will open the meeting to the public for any comments or questions on any item whatsoever. Time limit is 10 minutes.
Michael Baker, I'm a teacher in the district. I'd like to thank the board this evening for supporting the contract. I'd like to thank Mr. Wailuda for your kind words regarding the process. We're very pleased that Mrs. Zurcher has one less headache for at least a little bit over a year when the process will start again. I'd like to thank Mr. Parton, who's a worthy adversary and certainly a consummate professional. Both sides walked away not happy with everything, which means it must have been a successful negotiation. So thank you very much. And last thing, I'd like to thank our principals, and in particular Mrs. Miller, because a lot of the items that were agreed upon were done outside the normal negotiations process, and their help and assistance in forging some of the things that made our members somewhat pleased with those items. They're all deserving of our thanks and our appreciation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. What's that?
No, wait.
No.
Shanetta.
Shanetta Cherry Smith, 108 Monticello Way. Thank you for all the information that you've been sharing. Yes, you have been hearing a lot about the Harlem Wizards fundraiser. It's next Sunday. Very excited about it. The children are excited. We have our players. Would you like to hear who they are?
Sure. Yes, please.
Good. Wait, I'm glad you said that. Okay. At the primary school, we have Nicole Logan, Tanya Soto, and Maureen Jones. At the elementary school, we have Kate Daly and Christine Mangelli. At the middle school, we have Nancy Rosales. At the high school, for our high school 1,000 plus points club, we have Audrey Taylor, Leah Thomas, Shanique Brown, and Derek Whitaker. Community leader Mario Pinto. Eddie Yorick was supposed to play, but he's saying that his foot is hurt. Can that be verified? And we have parents and community volunteers, Bill Thiel, Mark Finello, Victor Gill, Adriana Suarez, Daniel Link, James Castillo, Terrence Pittman, and Mike Feaster's brother, Kevin Feaster. So we're very excited. You can get tickets, as we said, harlemwizards.com. I also have paper tickets, general admission only. But if you want reserved or courtside plus, which is very extremely interactive, a lot of the younger basketball players like that, where they're on near the court and they can come onto the court and interact with the players. So those are $30, but they're well worth it if you want to interact, have your child interact. So if anyone needs tickets, please let me know. And just one thing, thank you, Cheryl, you kicked it off. What we like to do is, if anyone cannot come with their families, if you would buy a general admission ticket and give it to a child, someone that you know, maybe someone that you don't know, and make his day. And we'd like to put that on everybody's spirit and possibly have you consider that. Okay? I'm sure everyone has that contact information. It's on the e-rounds that have been floating out every week. But ask somebody, they'll know how to get in touch with me. Okay? Any questions? Anyone need tickets? Kelly has hers. Joe has, huh?
I'll be in touch.
You'll be in touch? Okay. Oh, you had a question, Tony, regarding handicap. The handicap parking is in the front of the high school.
Right.
So you need to go through the front entrance and down to the gym.
Okay, and in the gym, we have handicap seating?
We don't have quote-unquote handicap seat, but you can sit on the bottom row.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So if anyone else has any handicap needs, if they would contact us before the game so that we can prepare, that would be appreciated.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Danielle Oswald, 68 Garwood Street. She always calls me out, so I have to come up. Have you heard there's Harlem Wizards coming? Okay. Sunday, October 29th. Don't forget to get your tickets. Thank you. The special education PTA meeting, we had that last Thursday, and it was recorded via Facebook Live, and we've had 303 views so far. Like I said before in the past, I don't know how far people are watching into it, and I do need to remember to implement some kind of phrase that could be like a, did you watch, what weird phrase did Danielle say to make sure you're watching towards the end, you know, the whole thing. And we also attended the special ed parent advisory meeting. That was great as well. And the special education PTA was coming up with an idea to have binders to provide for parents of kids with special needs, actually for all parents, but in particular, parents that have all the IEP paperwork, any doctor's evaluations regarding their students' IEP status, grades and stuff like that. And I know Mrs. Pribble was pretty excited about it. We created a one-sheet information sheet that had the responsible teacher and every other type of information that a parent would need at a glance. So
we're working on getting that going, and our next SEPTA meeting is November 9th. We're going to have a popcorn fundraiser from November 1st to December 8th. More information will be coming about that soon. And that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Last call. Close the public portion. You'll entertain a motion for the payment of bills.
The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented, having been certified by the School Business Administrator Board Secretary, be paid as listed, and I so move.
Motion by Mrs. Quirk.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Nielsen.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mrs. Pack. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.